Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel at Beyond Borders Teaching. Season's greetings from my family to yours. I hope you all are just as ready as I am for Christmas break. So as promised in our mini-series Money Matters, today stay tuned for episode 2. So for this segment, we'll be discussing budgeting without shame. I know, let's face it, we may not like to talk about money, but it is important to talk about it and become aware so that we can change, break whatever patterns so that we may be in a better position financially. So let's dive into that together today. So a few things we're going to be discussing within this topic is why budgeting may feel hard for international teachers specifically. We will be focusing on being more budget aware, as well as looking at a simple budget framework that I put together that really would help out international teachers, and some gentle reminders as we go through figuring out this money here as an international teacher. In this second episode of Money Matters, we are going to be discussing budgeting without shame, a simple system I hope to work out here with you as to how you can go about with a budget here as an international teacher. Now, something I know, talking about money is sometimes an uncomfortable topic. Sometimes it causes worry and anxiety, so we avoid it. But if you avoid something, you don't change it. So I'm hoping to journey with you to help you out with figuring out a budget that may best suit your needs and your families. So our core message, something I have learned recently from Financial Peace by David Ramsey. He talks about a budget gives you permission to spend. So maybe we need to change our mindset a little bit on that, and this can help with us becoming better financially going forward. So in this episode, we'll be adjusting why budgeting may feel hard for us as international teachers, budgeting awareness, things to be mindful of, and come up with a simple framework in which I will show to you a guide you can potentially use to help out with your budgeting going forward into 2026. Stay tuned. So guys, as for many of you that you may be experiencing, budgeting for me was a vast change coming to the US as opposed to back home. Coming to the US was the first time I had a credit card. In my home country, I would have had one of those types of credit cards. My first credit card was a reloadable credit card, so you can only spend the amount of money you put on it. And when that system got phased out, I didn't have an actual credit card after that. So coming to the US, that was one of the first things I was told to get, a credit card, because everything here is based on your credit score. To get an apartment, to buy a car, anything is based on your credit score. Of course, being new to the country, I had no credit score. So getting a credit card is what was sold to me, and I got one. And a lot of things, of course, here is automated, which is might be tied to your credit card or tied, of course, to your regular debit bank card. Now, bills at home weren't as automated, whereas bills here tend to be generally more automated. So before you even get your salary, money is coming out for various things. As well as back home, additionally, we would have bills for the basics, the needs, such as if you have a car payment, a mortgage payment, whatever it is. But coming as new persons within the US, now paying for a bed on a payment plan, or a living room set, a dining room set, paying for these things on payment plans, of course, would absorb a lot of your budget. And back home, for example, a lot of times I'd use cash. Up here, I find myself using more and more my card. And I really prefer my phone. I like just tapping with my phone, super simple. So all of that is something that was a change that may have impacted how my budgeting went forward. So I would say about getting credit cards, like I said, is essential to build this credit score. However, having a credit card is literally you using money that you don't have. Now, having the credit card is something that you can manage. It's good to have for emergency purposes. It's okay. But of course, you need to watch what you're spending and how you are using it, because you can become easy prey in regards to swiping the card and I'll pay it back when I get paid. I know I fell into that trap and had to quickly realize I needed to control my spending. So it's good to have some bills, like your needs, some of your needs, like for example, your internet, that may be a need to you. So that can help with building that credit score, but it needs to be something that you can pay off every month, but not swiping the card for big transactions and then saying, well, I have months to pay it off, because every month rolls around, that loan on the credit card is accruing interest. So be careful with those credit cards. And of course, you are adjusting, so as you go along, you will be better acquainted with managing the credit cards. I'd like to discuss budgeting awareness. I would like you all as well to possibly try reframing your mind when you think about budgeting. Budgeting is not punishment. Budgeting is a plan for your money, where your money should go. And if you don't have a plan for your money sometimes just seems to disappear. You get your salary and you don't know where the money went. So this is why budgeting is so essential. Now, David Ramsey talks about every dollar. So he's saying assign every dollar you make for a particular purpose. This amount is to pay the car note. This amount is to pay the rent. This amount is to pay whatever bill. Now, once you are aware where every dollar is going to, now you can see what is left back from your savings, what's left for miscellaneous, or whatever the thing is. And every month, you should pick a date in order to set your budget so you know where your money is going before you get it. It's important to be aware of where each dollar is going before you get it, so that you will have peace in regards to your finances going forward. Now, we have basic needs that needs to be taken care of to be addressed within your budget. Of course, food, shelter, transport, and then the other things you can figure out what will work best for you. How much you want to save from that, how much you want to save towards something particular, or those little expenses that may come throughout, whether it's be to pay your property taxes on your vehicle for the year, to buy tires for your car, to do a service, change the oil. Of course, those are little money you need to store and put aside as well. So all those things are some things you could take into consideration when you're making your budget. And I'll show you a guide as well you can possibly use going forward when you are creating your budget. A simple budget framework I follow are putting aside money for my needs, my goals, and of course, my lifestyle. So we talked about needs such as our rent, utilities, etc. Our goals, whether it be for saving, paying off debts, whether it be for emergency fund or for sending money back home. I would have spoken about that in the first episode. And as well, of course, our lifestyle, whether it be eating out, our subscription, self-care, fund money. So all of those are some of the things you can consider when planning your budget. Budget should reflect your lifestyle. It's not about being perfect here. It's to be realistic with what are your needs, what are your goals, and what you want to also do for entertainment and for your lifestyle, what works best for you. So keep that in mind when planning your budget. So guys, if you're like me, oftentimes I do something I call avoidance spending. It's when we spend money to avoid feeling, to avoid dealing with whatever emotions it is. So we go shopping on our phones to buy whatever we see on sale, or we take a walk, buy whatever, and we are not really being mindful of the money. We are just spending to avoid whatever the feeling is. For me, something that I don't see as too bad, my little guilty pleasure, when I feel emotional, I usually get myself a vanilla soft serve ice cream cone. Something about it just cheers me up. But we can turn that into bigger purchases, like having food delivered, buying something on Amazon just because, going and do some shopping at Bath and Body, one of my favorite places, to just get rid of that feeling. But don't feel bad about it, but definitely it may be something you want to change in order to become better at savings or accomplishing whichever goal you have, whichever personal goal you have. So when we feel like that, ask yourself, what am I trying to feel right now? What am I feeling in this moment? It's all about becoming aware so that we can change it. Spending sometimes can be emotional, and that's okay. And like I said, for me, an ice cream cone, I am good to go. And an ice cream cone is $2, $3 for the most, and that works for me. So if you are someone who sometimes emotionally spend, find something that's not going to cost you that much that it impacts your budget in a negative way. So that would just be my little tip. Lastly, I want to encourage you all when creating a budget, it's not necessarily about being perfect. It's just about having a plan for your money, because that's all a budget really is. It's a plan for your money. So you can fulfill those needs, you can fulfill those goals like I talked about, and you can fulfill whatever your lifestyle is that will make you comfortable and enjoy your experience here in the US. Because no one wants to come up, leave their countries to then be in a situation where they are just working to pay bills. Like I would have explained in the first episode, I know our salaries on paper was different to when we come in the US. And not that they cheat us, that's not what I mean. But I mean, you would have been told how much you're going to get paid. But when now you came to the US and all these additional things you may not have considered that you are going to have to now buy, pay, and do, the money doesn't seem as much anymore as it did on paper when you were in your home countries. So it's just about making that plan, not perfection necessarily, but that you could fulfill those three things we spoke about earlier. So a tip I want to leave you all with, budgeting is not about restriction. It is about building a life you moved for. Now, I know as international educators, we have moved from near, wide, and far from all parts of the world. So I know while coming here, we are making a second home for the time that we are here, and we want to enjoy it. We don't want to be having stressed and worried about money and not being comfortable. So a budget can help you relieve some of that stress, having a plan in place for your money. Down below, I'm going to leave the link for the budget guide in which I use that you can utilize to assist yourself within planning for the next year, planning for your next paycheck, which hopefully comes soon. So as we talked about our three pillars, needs, goals, lifestyle. So for my needs, I have an area for rent/mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation, phone, internet, and whatever other needs you may have. The second area, your goals, your future. So your emergency fund. Emergency fund, it depends on what may work for you, whatever your needs are. Emergency fund, some say it should be triple times your salary, double your salary. Of course, if you are a new international teacher, that will be challenging, but we are building, we are trying to save step by step, paycheck by paycheck. Rome wasn't built in a day. Paying off your debts, whether it be for whatever furniture you bought, your car expense. I know those are real things. Focusing on paying off that. Your savings, how much ever you is your goal to save while here. And of course, for some of us, sending money home. I know that's some of our core goals as international teachers. Lifestyle, enjoyment without guilt. You want to make sure in your budget as well, you carve out some money for entertainment, for enjoyment. Otherwise, of course, that is going to put a strain. It's not going to allow you to enjoy your experience. So dining out, factor that price into your budget. Subscriptions, self-care, shopping, fun, whatever miscellaneous things as well. Remember, I talked about that area of whether saving towards your property tax on your vehicle every year, your tires, your oil change, miscellaneous stuff, saving towards that as well. You don't want something to come up, your car, something needs to fix on it, something needs to be repaired, and then you don't have money. That is just going to add stress to you and make you anxious and all the things that go with it. So to avoid that, have the money saved from before. So if anything should come up, you have the money to take care of it, and it will continue to bring you peace. So as I said, I will leave this down below for if it is you all would like to access the link. I hope it works. You all will be able to download it and have a copy as well to utilize home. And some check-ins. Now we talked about being self-aware when it comes to money. So I have some questions here listed at the back. You can choose one day each week to review your money calmly without judgment. And like I said, you try to make your budget before you get paid. So if you get paid the last week of the month, like many of us do, some get paid every 2 weeks depending on the state. But for majority of us, we get paid at the end of the month. You want to do the budget at least a week before. A week, couple days before, so you have a plan for your money before you get it. So asking yourself some questions to be aware. What did I spend my money on this week? That's something very important. What am I spending my money on? Is it something that I need? Am I spending too much on entertainment, on my wants? Am I not even thinking and spending emotionally? What have I spent my money on this week? What surprised me when you look at the list? What surprised me from what you spent? Why did I feel stressed? Because, like I said, looking at where or why you felt stressed can show you where you might be spending emotionally. Where did I feel proud? Of course, take some moments to acknowledge where you shone, where you really stuck to your budget, where you really saved, where whatever it is you did that made you feel proud. And lastly, what small change can I make next week? So going forward, what can I do differently? Those are some questions at the back that can help you be more awareness, because awareness gives you options. Keep that in mind. And of course, when you have options, I would say options equal peace. So that's what I hope the budget guide will do for you, and that we can continue to grow here on our series Money Matters to become smart, wealthy, financially aware, financially sound, and have that financial peace. Thank you all for joining us again here today. I hope this second episode, Money Matters series, budgeting, really helped you all out today. And additionally, the link below that is there for the PDF on the budgeting guide that can also be useful to you in going forward in making that budget for your money. So like I said, having a plan for your money is just to create peace. I do wish you the best, and thank you for tuning in. If there's any way I could be of help, please leave a comment down below, ask any questions down below, and thank you again for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. Thank you all. Have a good evening, and thank you for joining us here at Beyond Borders Teaching. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your week.